Dominating the heart of the African continent is a single country the size of Western Europe. One of my favorite places, the Democratic Republic of Congo.
My draw into DRC is Nyiragongo. I mean, that's one of the most impressive volcanoes in the world.
Looming over the densely populated city of Goma is Nyiragongo Volcano. I've led multiple scientific expeditions up to its 3,400-meter summit and into its gargantuan crater.
It's an absolutely incredible feeling to wake up inside here.
This is the home of the largest lava lake on the planet. Nyiragongo is an incredibly dangerous place, but nothing could prepare me for what happens next.
The whole city is evacuating. We're just crossing the fresh lava flow. This is the only route out of Goma to the north. So people don't really have an option. It's definitely made things a lot more difficult, a lot more stressful for the people here to try and cross this is what is a normal road, which is now a 500-meter lava flow. Just days old.
This is the fallout of a volcanic event of catastrophic proportions. 48 hours earlier, lava drained from Nyiragongo's crater like bathwater down a plug hole. And in the late afternoon, magma exploded from the side of the mountain, spilling directly towards the city. First, it plunged whole neighborhoods into darkness. Then it crept into town. It obliterated homes and annihilated the main road out, leaving petrified residents with nowhere to run. Now, Nyiragongo sits on the horizon like a smoking gun. And its famous lava lake is nowhere to be seen.
There was no way that there was going to be an eruption out there, and I wasn't going to be on the ground to assist.
I've caught the first flight into Goma, where 400,000 desperate people are still struggling to flee.
So they're still just bulldozing a road right behind. From here on, it gets a lot more difficult for people to cross. It's arid stone, and a lot of people are just wearing thin sandals. And I can see cuts on people's feet already.
You just see whole families, many of them with mattresses stacked on motorbikes, 5 people on a motorbike, all carrying just their bare essentials, mattresses and sleeping stuff. I don't think I was really ready for it.
Two months later, and residents with homes still intact begin to return. But is there any way to minimize the devastation if Nyiragongo erupts again? To find out, I've teamed up with local journalist Caleb and UK filmmakers Lauren and Ollie. I'm taking them to witness the sheer scale of the destruction.
We're going to head up to the foot of the lava flow, so actually where the lava approached the city and came directly into the city.
I can't imagine what it's going to be like.
I mean, you'll see. So we're just getting up onto the lava flow now.
Here we see the village that was mainly affected by this flow, and it's ran down, and you can imagine the fear that these people had when you see the skies illuminated in red and you can see a flow heading down to your village and you know you're in harm's way.
This is Buheni, the suburb hit the hardest by the eruption. Here the homes of over 23,000 people were wiped off the face of the earth.
This is awful.
It's crazy to see the extent of the destruction.
I know, I can't believe it. I didn't think it would be this big. I just keep comparing it to like if it happened in the UK, and it's like we would be given warning. We would have something to like prepare us for what was to come. It's really sad. It's really sad.
There is no evidence that these homes even existed. The only way people can locate their land is by counting the steps from the main road. One woman, Justine Kahambu, believes she's found her home. Journalist Caleb translates.
The front door was there. Sema. Here it was the bedroom for girls.
And was she home when the lava came into town?
Saa hii volka itombokaka. Ulikuwa hapa kwa nyumba.
Nilikuwa kwa soko na niko nachuruza. Njoo moto tukaona kule moto shawaka, nikaita babake hapo. Akaniambia sema hapana, shefa amesema sema. Njoo nikaona sitaongeza fika huko. Kana mtu ashalala chini ashakufa.
How does it make you feel to come back to what used to be your home?
Maana nishakuwa desi sana. Tutapoteza rezo kabisa.
I'm so sorry. Pole sana.
Ndiyo.
Mungu atakusaidia.
Ndiyo.
Justine's husband, John, was killed by toxic gases from the lava. He was one of 32 people who lost their lives that night.
It's not easy, you know. It's not easy. Losing the little they had, losing also relatives. Yeah, sometimes makes me feel like crying, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Looking at the consequences of this eruption and looking how many people have been affected and seeing the destruction, how do we prevent this from happening again, or how do we give a better warning of it happening again?
To do this, I need to know if Nyiragongo gave any signals that it would erupt. I'm teaming up with volcanologists from OVG, Goma's government-funded volcanic agency. Today, we'll attempt the first ever scientific expedition to the eruption site. But it's on the mountain's flanks in rebel-held jungle.
Out of all the places that I operate, DRC might be the most high risk, and yeah, it is potentially one of the most dangerous places on Earth.
The Democratic Republic of Congo has endured decades of civil unrest. Over 70 dissident factions tussle for natural resources and randomly target government-funded organisations such as OVG.
What are we looking at, Chris?
Some of the risks that you've got for OVG working out in some of the areas kind of around Nyiragongo, especially in the back, they are rebel held, so sometimes they come under attack, and this is a kind of a bullet hole straight into, driver's seat, almost head height. This is the risks that OVG have got, trying to do their job, trying to protect this area from the volcanology perspective. And so as much as the volcano brings life, fertile soil, it also brings these minerals and the conflict that we have here.
Yeah, you're used to it here, but I'm not. and nor are any of the climbers or Lauren. So.
No, it's strange, especially from flying to Europe. I mean, I've been based out here and operating here since 2015. It feels like a home almost for me, and I'm very much established here. And so yeah, I can't imagine what it feels like for you to come out to this area and I'm pointing at bullet holes, and you've got a huge volcano in the background, lava flows, and also people screaming down roads. So yeah,
It's scary.
Before we set off, I receive a phone call from a concerned safety officer.
I'm with someone. Okay. You think it's better this way? Do you think it's safer if we use OVG vehicle? It's fine. Perfect. Jumbo.
What's going on?
I think he was just a little bit concerned that we'll be heading out there with press vehicles. He prefers if we're going out with OVG as a convoy altogether. So we'll take one more OVG sign-written vehicle and then the 2 blank Land Cruisers.
Even though there's a bullet hole in one of the OVG vehicles.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Keeping a tight convoy, we hit the road. I'm in the Democratic Republic of Congo, on the first scientific mission to the new site of Nyiragongo's recent eruption. We're on our way to meet a good friend of mine, volcanologist Charles Balagizi.
Yeah,
You good?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good, man.
Welcome to Goma.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're going to head out into the field now?
Yeah.
It's a half-day trek, and we bring with us everything we need for a volcanic crime scene investigation. We begin on the same road out of Goma that residents used to flee the eruption.
So literally, last time I was walking down this road, they were evacuating the whole city of Goma down here. Like surreal to be back, everything's so calm and peaceful. Ish. So you can start to get a whiff of the activity as well. You can start to smell a little bit of sulphur in the air. Just faint.
As the crow flies, our destination is approximately 1 mile across rainforest too dense to trek. So the quickest way there is to walk along the eruption's dried lava flow.
But we're just crossing this, so this is the edge of the lava flow. And you can see how it's just ripped a line in this vegetation. Before here it was pristine forest. And what we see left is just the straggling trees that are hanging on for dear life.
It's razor sharp rock, but if you fell over, you'd be screwed.
At the top of the flow, we see a massive scar in the mountain. Magma from the crater above would have melted through the earth and exploded from this very spot.
It is like somebody has just taken a knife and opened up the side of this crater. And also to think of the power and the pressure that is caused to rip open the flesh of the earth. It's something you can't reckon with.
And it's possible that this devastating event could happen again.
So as you see here, that is red hot. I mean, I'd say 60 plus, ow, yeah.
Steaming vents like this one are called fumaroles. And they can be caused by 2 things: residual heat from cooling lava, or, more worryingly, a direct line to molten magma. To find out how deep this one goes, Charles tests for gases.
How much is that?
If it is a main line to magma, it'll emit high levels of sulfur dioxide, SO2.
SO2, you're at 80.
80, yeah.
Instantly, it just increases, yeah.
Yeah.
Skyrockets, actually. Way off the charts.
This is a prime site for another eruption, just 2 miles from the nearest village.
It's not great for the people of Goma, is it?
If this was an active fumarole that stayed hot and then was a deep fissure right down into the magma chamber, then certainly you'd see a higher risk for that village down there.
Africa's deadliest volcano just got deadlier. And with local people eager to rebuild, the need for an early warning system is absolutely critical. It's possible that seismic activity could have caused Nyiragongo's famous lava lake to drain before the mountainside burst. But nobody knew this at the time, because Nyiragongo has no live video monitoring.
How do we give a better warning of it happening again? The first step in this direction is to get a live stream system in place and to get the camera installed.
Other teams have attempted to install cameras in the past, but the crater's exceptionally volatile conditions mean all previous attempts have failed. Tomorrow, I aim to install the first fully working webcam inside Nyiragongo.
How are you feeling today?
Good, rested. I mean, weather's not great, but it could be worse. We've still got a little potential for rain, a little bit. And then overnight it could get pretty torrential, so regardless, we'll just work through it. So.
To give myself the best shot at success, I've upgraded my team with climbing technicians James and Elliot and remote medic Ben.
Right, ready to go?
20. Yeah, call one, received.
This morning, we're heading further from the safety of the city than my team have ever been before.
Yeah, as soon as we get up to Kibati, then we're going to meet up with our armed security detail.
What's your biggest concern at the moment, Chris?
I mean, this doesn't sound very exciting, but just not having one cable that I need out of everything.
That's a fair worry. If you get all the way up there.
There are definitely more chances of armed groups being in the area. But strangely, that doesn't concern me as much as the cable.
We're coming up to checkpoints.
Since the eruption, authorities have stricter controls on traffic in and out of the city. If they refuse us passage now, our mission may be over before it's begun.
Pardon, monsieur.
He didn't like it.
What did you do?
I just waved at him, giving him a wave, and he was just like, go.
Can you see the power of press?
And here we are.
Whoa.
That's where the fun starts.
At the park headquarters, we're greeted by over 50 locals, ready to haul over 1 ton of climbing equipment, cooking materials and electrical kit to the summit. But no matter how strong this army of porters, they are no match for possible rebels.
I've just spoke with the commander who's concerned about the security up there. He says he hasn't got enough rangers to secure it. They've just got a little bit of a concern with people in the area at the moment.
What kind of people in the area?
Just rebels. I'm just going to go and speak with the commander again.
Can I come, Chris?
It's probably not best for cameras.
Okay.
Civil unrest caused by the recent disaster mean that a lot of the park's armed rangers are posted elsewhere, and Nyiragongo is no longer secure.
I was thinking of daylight hours. It's pretty much dark at 6. Ideally, you want to get there in the light, don't you? In the dark, if you're walking up with head torches, you're essentially just illuminating your position to anybody that's looking around.
How are we doing, Chris? What was the score? So that was just the governor, the military governor on the phone. He's going to send Congolese military with us. These guys are just given an order. Like, they're just down the road, and now you're going to walk on top of Nyiragongo with to a potentially dangerous environment, but that's the life of the military.
With the army securing the route ahead, we set off. The trek to the summit normally takes about 5 hours, but we only have 4 hours of daylight left in which to do it.
We've definitely set off later than we'd hoped. We'll be cutting it fine, but it might actually be dark when we get on the summit.
My inexperienced team will have to hot-foot it to the top.
So, Chris is flying up. So he's done it before, obviously. The porters are fine. I'm amazed at what they can carry. I mean, we must look like weaklings compared to them.
It's grueling terrain.
It's just relentless. Up, up, up.
But my exhausted crew and 53 porters lug over a ton of equipment to the 3,400 metre summit. And at 6 p.m, the rim of one of the most impressive craters in the world lies just within reach.
Well, look where we are.
I know!
This is the final few steps.
So we've just got to the crater summit, and we're going to check out the crater rim. And for me, this is also an exciting part because I also love people's reactions when they see it first, because it's mental.
Holy moly! Holy moly!
It's a big one.
Just going anywhere near it makes me shit scared. Shit scared.
I've stood on this crater rim many times before, but this time the view is virtually unrecognisable.
And normally I'm used to a glowing sky of red and you know what awaits you, but this time it's empty. I mean, somebody pulled the plug on it, and yeah, you can see in the crater you're just left with it's like an 850 metre deep pit.
It's undisputed that lava will one day return to this crater. And when it does, the lives of almost 700,000 local residents rely on how closely volcanologists can monitor it.
Hear the noise? That's a collapse.
Oh my God, can you see it?
You'll hear this throughout our time up here. So that is just the collapse event still going on.
That noise was scary as hell.
Tomorrow morning, to install a live stream web camera, I will be the first person to climb inside the crater since the eruption.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, sunshine.
Did you feel the earthquake last night?
I heard a lot of rumbles. How are you feeling?
Fantastic. You could have brought coffee with you. That's how I'm feeling.
I'm in Central Africa, planning to install a web camera inside one of the largest volcanic craters in the world.
What are you going to do now?
Oh, we're just going to wrap over the edge and take a closer look.
It'll be the first crater descent since Nyiragongo's eruption, so we need to make sure the proposed site is still safe for a web camera.
I'm going to head over that edge there, and then as soon as I get down to a lower area, I'll traverse across.
Where?
Just hidden behind some rocks, a little bit out of sight around here.
But the crater wall, after so much seismic activity, is crumbling to bits.
Every sort of 5 minutes you'll hear a big roar coming out of there, just loose hell falling down into the bottom of the crater. You'll hear it and you see the dust cloud come up.
The apocalyptic scene has drawn quite an audience directly above where I'll be climbing.
These folk can move back a metre because if they're on the edge and they dislodge any rocks, they can come down on the crest.
Can you explain that if they stand here, they could knock rocks and it could kill me?
With the edge secured, it's time for me to make the pioneering 60-metre descent.
So it's just this edge, isn't it? We'll just step down.
I don't know.
All right.
See you later.
See you in a bit, mate.
That's it, he's gone out of range now. Can't see him, can't hear him, not even on the radio mic. So just gotta hope that he's okay.
Some rock fall.
Really close to Chris, eh?
Horrible terrain. Loose rock everywhere. I mean, even small stuff like that. If you take that to the face, eye socket, chest, from 10 metres above, it hurts.
50 metres down, I traverse across 10 metres. This is a site of a non-operational camera system, installed by Belgian volcanologists in 2016, and failed shortly after.
Right there, that's what we're replacing. The bolt is so corroded I won't be able to get that out. Unfortunately, so that can stay as a souvenir. It's nicely out of sight though, and you don't really have to worry about it getting stolen. You've seen the work it takes to get down here.
But there are worrying signs that this wall could collapse at any moment.
But looking at this area and how many tension cracks it's got above, this is not a suitable area for me. I think if I installed this camera, I'd lose it within a year.
Chris, the place you are at the minute, is that a good place to install a camera system, do you believe?
Negative.
It's a massive spanner in the works. It's almost midday, and we still need to find a more suitable spot for the web camera, then install it before dark.
Right, Krista Cooper, that's me swapped over to Ascent. I'll make my way over left. Just
Reports that the ropes aren't snagged on Ascent loose above. Over. Hey, Roger, copy that. Out.
Just as I start to ascend,
whoa, that is a large ash emission.
What's happening? What's happening?
And essentially a big rock slide just happened, sending up a massive amount of dust.
The wind's just pushing it over my direction, so I'll mask up. Heinous! All right, mate. How you doing?
How are you doing, more like?
I mean, I'm loving it.
But it's not a good place for a camera.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of loose rock down here. It's pretty sketchy. Also, with the recent seismic activity, there's a load of tension cracks even within this wall that weren't there before. Especially the location just above where that camera's installed. So, complete write-off.
Fortunately, there's one more site for us to try. But this one is on the far side of this sheer crater rim. It's over a mile around a treacherous knife-edge ridge. And to make it work, I have to relocate 200 kilos of equipment, meaning everyone has to come.
Chris really ropes us into some crazy activities.
There's not exactly an easy trail to get over there. It's knife edge ridge.
Ça va?
If you were to fall, it's very difficult to stop.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was scary as
After a whole hair-raising hour of scrambling, everyone makes it safely to the far side. This is Nyiragongo's southeast flank. On the crater rim is a disused science station, a perfect hub for installing equipment.
I'm pretty happy with the spot.
Because it's trickier just to get here, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So anything that's going to aid this equipment staying in location is optimal. Unless you're really desperate to destroy a camera, you would not go in there.
The plan is to install solar panels, an antenna, and a control box in the relative shelter of the hut. Then run a single cable off the cliff to the camera. But one of my greatest fears comes true.
What's your biggest concern at the moment, Chris?
Not having one cable that I need out of everything.
Shit, that's over 20 meters.
My Ethernet cable is just 2 meters too short. Instead, I'll have to improvise a volcano-proof alternative closer to the cliff. And, as luck would have it, there's a perfectly positioned pole on which I can attach the control box. But it's approaching 1 o'clock, and we have more than just time against us.
I'm going to preempt the shit show and put waterproofs on.
Do you think the CISO's coming in?
It sounds like it.
Installing a webcam. Step 1, attach the antenna.
Kind of needs to point where the mast is. But I can't exactly see the mast that's 10 kilometers away right now.
Step 2, improvise a mount for the control box.
Soon realised there's a few bolts short. It's not like there's a local hardware store where you can just pop off and get some M4 bolts from. Yeah, there's a time that I really wished there was a hardware store there because I was way short.
I'm in the Democratic Republic of Congo, trying to help predict future eruptions by installing a web camera on Nyiragongo Volcano. But there's an incoming storm, and I don't have the right bolt to finish the job.
The brackets aren't right, and there's just a bit of faff.
A situation like this calls for 2 of my favourite things: heavy metal and brute force.
Yeah, that's fine.
Aye. It was easy, just a couple of bolts, screws. No drama.
Despite the multiple setbacks, I've still just enough time to abseil into the crater before dark.
That was pretty close. Shelter, Ollie.
Yeah.
This is turbo wing. Weather could be better, couldn't it?
Oh, you okay?
If you looked up misery in the dictionary, this is what
just like. Any plan?
Any plan? I think we're just going to wait it out. Normally these things pass. And also there's not a chance that we're going to be walking back on that terrain in this condition.
After an hour, the storm finally passes, leaving us just enough light to scramble back to base.
This is the best food I've ever eaten in my life. It's delicious. Thomas really knows how to cook.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Okay.
Really good. Très bien.
Okay. But how do you feel about today's activities, Chris?
Just kind of glad that everybody navigated that terrain all right, especially carrying some heavy loads over. Maybe a little bit miserable and drenched, but everybody got back safely. "6 a.m.
It's the crack of dawn, it's really, really misty.
To make sure we catch the weekly flight out of Goma, we shall be packing and leaving. But that's not an option.
Let's go.
We're only halfway through installing the camera system.
Okay, let's try and keep our 6 together then.
We'll need to finish the job and climb down the mountain before dark.
Yeah, man, I definitely don't remember coming down here.
It's cutting it fine.
So now I'm just going to plug the camera in, and then we'll go down to the face and bolt it in. It might be a little bit difficult to position the camera because I want it pointed at the lava lake, but you don't really have much visibility at the moment.
This terrible visibility also means one of the camera crew will have to come with me.
Lauren, you're going to be coming down the crater.
What?
Well, when we have the next one, I'll go.
I can get you back for this.
Standing in the way.
I'm going to make you go down in the deepest pit you've ever seen.
Just grab some tools.
Filmmaker Lauren has only done basic abseil training, but there's no better proving ground than a volcano.
It's just because it's like a sheer drop, and I have to lean into it.
Have your feet on.
I don't know where my feet are going.
And then cross left.
Okay. That is so cool!
But luckily, we're only climbing 6 foot down.
Well, that's gnarly abseil.
Now, I need to run a cable down the cliff. Then, attach a mounting bracket. The whole job
Have we got a proper screw?
is going to take me about an hour.
Nice one.
But my biggest fear is a repeat of yesterday.
Oh, that mist is rolling in again.
20 minutes till the scheduled rain.
Who's doing that?
It seems my Congolese colleagues are calling for a divine intervention.
He's trying to talk to the ancestors.
What was he whistling for now?
He's trying to ask the ancestors to prevent us from the rain.
I have just told them to stop rain. Yeah, very sure with that problem.
Thank you, Anderson.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, sir.
While the afterlife do their best to will away the weather, I'm on the home straight.
All right, ready for the camera? Yeah.
Use the camera. And just messaging the office back home to see if they can log into the camera and see if it's working.
And while conditions inside the crater are quite comfortable, the team up top are lashed with sub-zero winds.
What is it keeping their spirits up with a bit of music?
Are they singing S Club 7? I wonder what their reaction would be for a bit of death metal.
And finally, we have action. This live stream camera means that volcanologists will have eyes on the crater 24/7. 7.
We'll be happy when it's running for at least a few days or a few weeks, and I can see that it's a system that's going to last.
Get your filthy mitts off of my camera. Get off my land.
Job's a good one.
You look proud now.
Yeah.
Toma, pad. Tanitoshea moja.
As we prepare to leave Congo, I catch one last glimpse of Africa's most infamous volcano.
There it is.
Nyiragongo ahead of us.
I'm streaming. So, just for the everyday person in Goma, this information and the future of live stream data would just gives an earlier warning system to the city, which is such a vibrant and colourful place, and it's just going to give them that heads up. Hopefully, this is the start of something new. So it's 3 months since we went to Nyiragongo, and my camera's still working. So this is the longest running web camera in history of Nyiragongo, and it's actually captured the rebirth of the lava lake. So this incandescence, this glow, is a lava lake coming back to life. That's exactly why we installed this camera.
And with volcanic activity still a threat in the Congo, my work here is far from over.